HMI programming is half the controls job that most PLC programmers ignore until year 5. The ones who pick it up earlier move up the salary band noticeably faster. This video covers what HMI programming actually is, the major platforms, screen design fundamentals, the tag binding model, common beginner mistakes, and where to start. By the end, you know whether HMI is the next thing on your roadmap and what to learn first if so. An HMI is a human-machine interface, the operator panel or screen that lets a human interact with the machine the PLC controls. The PLC handles the logic, read inputs, run rungs, write outputs. The HMI handles the visualization, the operator inputs, the alarms, and the historical trends. A PLC without an HMI is fine for hidden machines that nobody ever touches. A PLC with an HMI is what every machine on a factory floor that humans interact with looks like. The HMI is not running the logic. It is reading what the PLC is doing and writing what the operator wants. The major HMI platforms in 2026. Factory Talk View Studio for Allen Bradley shops. Siemens WinCC for Siemens shops. Ignition by Inductive Automation is the most popular vendor-neutral option. The trial is unlimited and the documentation is genuinely good. Aviva InTouch, formerly Wonderware, dominates the legacy installed base. Inductive Automation's perspective is the modern browser-based HMI gaining ground fast. Plus, increasingly the web-based HMIs running on tablets and phones. Most working controls engineers know 2 of these well and recognize the others. The vendor pair matters less than the design discipline that transfers between them. Screen design fundamentals follow the ISA-101 standard from 2015. The principles look counterintuitive at first, but reduce operator errors dramatically after the first few shifts. Light gray backgrounds, not black or white. High contrast only on critical data, the things operators must notice. Restricted color palette. Color is reserved for status indication, never decoration. Consistent layout across every screen on the same plant. Alarm placement in a fixed location, always the same area of the screen. ISA-101 looks boring next to the rainbow HMIs of the early 2000s. That is the point. Boring is good. Boring lets the operator's eyes find the important changes instantly. Tag binding is what connects the HMI to the PLC. The HMI reads PLC tags and displays them as graphics, gauges, and numbers. It writes operator inputs back to PLC tags as setpoint changes or command bits. The connection in 2026 is usually OPC UA, the modern, cross-vendor protocol that replaced the older OPC Classic plus various proprietary links. Some platforms still support direct Ethernet IP, Modbus TCP, or vendor-specific drivers. The tag naming discipline from PLC programming carries straight over to HMI. Clear names like pump_1_ running rot far less than tag_6. Refactoring is much faster on an HMI with good tag names. Renaming a tag in the PLC means updating every HMI binding that referenced it. Common HMI beginner mistakes that make the operator's life harder. Too many colors. The screen looks busy and the operator's eyes do not know where to land. Alarm fatigue. New programmers add an alarm for every condition. After a month, operators ignore alarms entirely because the screen is permanently red. Gradient backgrounds. Slow to render, distracting, and against the ISA-101 principles. Unlabeled buttons that rely on tribal knowledge. Operators learn from each other rather than the interface, which means turnover destroys institutional memory. Missing security boundaries. Anyone walks up and changes the set point because there is no operator versus engineer permission split. Each of these mistakes is easy to make and very hard to retrofit later. HMI programming sits in the mid-career tier of the PLC Programmer roadmap. Year 3 to 7 for most engineers. Picking it up earlier is one of the largest near-term salary lifts available to a junior controls programmer. A candidate who can write ladder and design ISA-compliant HMI screens is significantly more valuable than one who can only write ladder. The cheapest first HMI to learn is Ignition. Free trial, unlimited duration, vendor-neutral, modern tooling. Spend a weekend on the official Ignition University course, and you have a working baseline. Pair HMI practice with the free simulator at plcsimulationsoftware.com. The simulator gives you a working PLC backend to bind a real HMI front-end to. Run your first HMI screen against a real seal-in rung. Real timer, real counter, real alarm condition. Get the muscle memory before touching paid vendor software. Next video covers e-stop wiring and programming, the safety knowledge every controls programmer needs before commissioning anything. Subscribe, new video every Tuesday. See you in the next one.